Once upon a time, there was a guy named Pavis. He looked to be about 20 years old. Pavis was a poor man. A guy lived alone in an old house made of stone and clay. His mother died long ago. He didn't remember his father at all, and all he inherited was an old, shabby guitar. But it was extraordinary, not like all other guitars. When it sounded, birds sang, flowers bloomed around, and my soul felt so good, warm and cheerful. Pavis played it every day. Now he couldn't imagine his life without music and without this guitar. She was his inspiration, amulet, meaning of life. On one of these days, he sat on the shore of his favourite lake, not far from his home, and played his favourite song. And everyone around seemed to sing along. The birds chirped in a special way. The reeds rustled in rhythm, shaking their heads. An old boat tied to the shore swayed on the waves, seeming to dance. And my soul became calm, and the sadness went somewhere. Playing one song after another, Pavis did not notice how midday came. The guy decided to take a walk around his village. Approaching the outskirts, he heard a herald who shouted, "Order! Read the king's order!" As he got closer, he saw a leaflet attached to a pole. This was the king's decree. Whoever makes his daughter happy, he will marry her to. A long time ago, the king's wife died, and since then his only daughter Vistina fell into despondency. She could not come to terms with this. She cried and was sad every new day. And no matter how much the king tried to help his daughter, everything was to no avail. Why not? Pavis thought. Hanging his guitar over his shoulder, he immediately set off on the road. The castle was not far from the village and not close. In old, worn-out boots, you won't be able to accelerate very much, and even on foot, your legs are not state-of-the-art. The road ran through a field and forest. Half a day passed quickly and night fell. There was nowhere to stay for the night, so he decided to go all night. The road went through a dark, dense forest. The writhing creatures lying on the outskirts of the road looked like huge monsters in the darkness. And to make it not so scary, he played and sang. It's already dawn. In the distance, Pavis saw a beautiful palace. He was met by guards at the gate and taken to the king's garden. The king and his daughter liked to spend early mornings in the garden. It was unusually beautiful. The fountains were gurgling peacefully. Peacocks were walking around the garden with their tails spread. Birds were chirping merrily. A nightingale was singing. On a bench sat the king with his daughter. Next to the table were 2 cups of tea and various sweets. The king embraced her, and the two of them, leaning their heads against each other, seemed to be dreaming of something. When the king saw Pavis, accompanied by his guards, he rose and took a few steps towards her. The princess remained seated on the bench. She was a girl of about 20 years old, with the long white hair, sea blue eyes, long black eyelashes, a beautiful pink dress emphasizing her slender figure, and looked like an angel. Tears rolled down her cheeks one after another, and in her hand Vistina held a handkerchief wet with tears. It was obvious that this girl was very kind. Birds were sitting around her on the bench. She loved this place. She loved this fountain, these flowers, the peacocks with their beautiful painted tails, the birds. All this reminded her of the days when she used to spend here with her mother. Here no one prevented her from being sad and crying. The king saw before him a boy of about 20 years of age, of slim build, with black, curly hair sticking out in all directions from under his cap. He wore shabby, dusty and dirty boots, worn-out pants and the same shirt. The guy was tired, a little scared and somehow confused. Over his shoulders hung a worn, old, dusty guitar. In his hands, Pavis held some kind of leaflet. The first thing the king thought was that it must be some charlatan again. He had come to beg for alms. The king was about to get angry at the guards for letting the beggar in, but the boy, being timid, handed him a leaflet with a royal order. In a voice trembling with excitement, he struggled to say, "Hello, Your Majesty. Hello, Princess. My name is Pavis. I am a simple guy. I've read your order and I've come to help you. I want to play my guitar for you." "What?" The king was surprised. "You just want to play your guitar for me? Are you sick of living?" The king got angry. "Why are you messing with my head here?" "Please, Your Majesty," said the boy. "This is an extraordinary guitar. Give me a chance. Please, for the sake of your daughter." "All right, so be it. Go ahead," replied the king, and went back to the fountain. "But look, if you decide to fool me, you will not be able to take your head off." Pavis timidly approached the princess and sat down beside her on the bench. "Pavis," he introduced himself again. Vistina, for some reason, she immediately answered without wanting to. He silently took the guitar, dusted it off and put it on his knee. The princess watched him with big, surprised eyes and waited for some miracle. There was something special about this guy. "What a wonderful day!" The boy smiled shyly and passed his hand over the strings. A pleasant melody spilled into the air, and there was a feeling of excitement and delight at the same time. After a couple of minutes, the birds began to chirp more cheerfully. The peacocks began to dance, waving their wings and tails. The fountains began to beat higher and gurgle harder. The water shimmered silver in the sun. Flower bushes swayed from side to side, spreading their fragrance in the wind. The king did not notice for himself as he began to stomp his feet, raising his hands in the air, began to dance to the tune played by Pavis. He definitely began to like this guy more and more. The sun seemed to shine even brighter. The air smelled and smelled of magic. Vistina listened to the boy with rapt attention. Her heart pounded in her chest with delight. Tears began to dry up on their own. It was definitely magic. The melody and the whole atmosphere brought her back to the times when she was happy with her mom. Here she seems to be sitting beside her as before and stroking her soft white hand, and says, "Don't cry, my girl. Don't cry. You have to live and be happy. This is your life. Live it happily, please. I'll always be in your heart." And it was so peaceful and warm. Such inexplicable joy came over her. The princess began to clap her hands to the beat of the music, to clap to the birds, flowers, fountains, to her beloved father, and it seemed, to the whole kingdom. The king looked at his laughing daughter, and tears were pouring from his eyes. They were tears of joy and delight. How long he had wished for this. How long he had waited for this. A girl, his favorite girl, his daughter laughing again. My God, what happiness it was. The king hugged the princess tightly, and she, smiling gently, said, "Father, thank you. I want to live again. I want to be happy. Happy with Pavis. He's my destiny. I know that now. Please, Father." Wiping away tears of joy, a little hesitant, the king nodded his head approvingly and kissed his daughter. "Yes, my girl, so be it." And the king exclaimed joyfully, "Trumpeters, sound the trumpet, bring the news. I give in marriage my daughter." The king took his daughter by the tender hand, led her to Pavis, and said, "I am the king, and I keep my royal word. You are the only one who could help my daughter and save my girl from sorrow and tears. Otherwise, she would have died. Now I owe you a debt of gratitude." And he put his daughter's hand in Pavis's hand, squeezed them tightly, and hugged both of them. "Here is my royal blessing. In 2 days, there will be a wedding in the palace, a feast for the whole world. And now, everyone get ready for the celebration. Everyone in the palace cheered. The servants and courtiers clapped their hands. The trumpeters blew their trumpets. The drummers beat their drums. The day has come. Music has been playing in the palace since morning. The guests are slowly arriving. All the kings from the neighboring kingdoms have been invited. The gates of the kingdom are open to all comers, even the poor. Soon there will be a ball. In the castle, Pavis is standing on the red carpet. He's wearing a black tailcoat, red boots. Next to him stands Vistina in a white, lush, long dress with a long train, with a white veil. Angels flying on their heads. All smiles, all rejoicing. Pavi and Vistina are husband and wife. Hooray! The king is very happy. How nice it would be, he thought, wiping away a tear, if the queen could see this. A big, beautiful castle. Morning, fountains playing, beautiful birds are walking, nightingales are singing. As always on a bench sits a princess and smiling gently, drinking tea. Next to her is her Prince Pavis, playing the guitar. The castle is filled with inspiration, filled with life. It is very important in life to have a person who will support you in a difficult moment, to save you and help you. Our princess was lucky. Let each of us be lucky in life and fulfill our most cherished dreams.